Hello everybody, this is Fred Burke, also known as the Wholesale Mentor, and what I'd like to go over with you is the 7 common marketing mistakes investors make and how to avoid them. Number 1 is not having a marketing strategy at all. You must have some type of marketing strategy in place. Just placing bandit signs in a neighborhood and at intersections without planning, testing, and reviewing the quality response rate from your signs is a sure recipe for failure. Placing an ad in a small hometown shop or a penny saver or one of those freebie papers you get and putting it out there for 1 week and expecting your phone to ring off the hook, not going to work. It doesn't happen that way. Repetition is very, very important. So you have to have a marketing strategy that you put together that's going to work for you and that's going to meet your budget. So again, these things don't happen overnight. This is a business just like anything else. So if you expect to go out and put 20 signs or 20 flyers, or you call 20 people and nothing happens and you give up, well, that's where you went wrong. So, you have to be, repetition is very important, and you have to be very persistent in this business. Now, not identifying strategies that work and sticking with them. There's many ways to invest in real estate. What you need to do is you need to figure out which way you're going to go, whether it's wholesaling, short sales, lease options, and that'll better make you decide which way is best for you to go and to put together a marketing strategy that's going to work. If you're doing lease options, you may be calling from the newspaper and the for rentals. If you're doing foreclosures and pre-foreclosures, you may be purchasing a list. For wholesales, you may be doing mailers or driving neighborhoods. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, so and some ways are better than others. But it's the lack of not knowing what works and not knowing what works well that leads many astray and costs them a lot of money in the process. And eventually they end up just, going away and not following through and never doing a deal at all. Not staying within a budget and wasting your money, that's very important. I've taken students who have had no money to market, and the videos prove it. I've got them on my site, www.theaffordablementor.com, where we've taken them out and we've put bandit signs. We've driven for dollars. They're also on www.totalfinancialliberty.com. So you must stay within a budget. I've had people that have had no budget up to maybe 10 or 20 or $30. Some people have had $100 per month, but you must use it wisely. So if you only have $10 or $100 per month that you can spend on marketing, then you need to stick to that amount and use the strategies that fit into your budget. Otherwise, you might soon be distracted from your real estate investment business by facing a cash crunch and just dwindling away and never getting a deal done. Having no competitive advantage above the others. I got to tell you, you really have to have a strong message. Your message has to be different than everybody else. You have to have to give you an example, everybody says we buy houses. If you open the papers, we buy houses. My signs don't say that. My signs say things like cash for your house, never a cost to you, can close quick. There's a lot of different things you can do. One of my students uses the mailman buys houses. One of my students uses Uncle Frank buys houses. I mean, there's just so many different things that you could do, but you have to get out there and stand above the others. You have to be able to make them want to work with you and not all the other investors that are out there. So you have to stand out and be different. Another problem that people seem to fail with is not being persistent. Sadly, many quit a huge database of leads they accumulated from haphazard marketing efforts and realizing that they have not realizing that they have unrefined gold in their hands. All it asks is some nourishing and some follow-up. Basically, I know people, and this happened to me when I started investing too, that sometimes I was afraid to go out and make an offer. Sometimes I was afraid to pick up the phone. I didn't know what to say. And this is years ago. I mean, it's a scary business. I'll grant you that. But, you have to really be active in your business, and you have to make sure that you are developing a message that's getting across to everybody else that makes them want to work with you above all the other investors. Now, not being persistent, we discussed this in another video. Sadly, many quit, again, with a huge database of leads that they accumulated, and it's so important to be persistent. You must keep a good follow-up folder. Whenever I call somebody and they say, well, it sounds good, but I'm going to go ahead and try to sell my house myself right now, but maybe I'll call you back or send me some information. I'll go ahead and send the information out, or I'll follow up with them. I'll put them in my follow-up bin, and I will go over and, the next week after that, I'll call them up and say, hey, Joe, this is Fred just checking in. Did you sell your house? How's it going? Have you had many offers? And at the same time that I'm, touching base with these people more than once a week, if I'm being a pain in the butt, a lot of them will tell me. But a lot of times, a lot of them, appreciate the call and, and any advice that I could give them. Of course, my goal is to try to buy their house myself. So, I'm not giving away the cow, so to say, just a little bit of milk. So I'm building a rapport with them. The next one is following what everybody else is doing and using the same market strategies. And that's basically what we talked about just a few seconds ago. You got to ask yourself, with all the same strategies used by fellow investors in your market, why would a seller call you? Why should a seller call you? If you can't answer this, then you need to think of a different strategy, like marketing to, I don't know, maybe attorneys, divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, bankruptcy attorneys, where you're having business sent directly to you. When you market to attorneys, there's no competition and no negotiation normally. What I like about this approach is that the attorneys may, at times, would send you pre-qualified leads your way, which makes negotiations much less stressful and complicated. The same as with a mortgage broker. If they have a client that they could not finance, you may have a subject to that you can go ahead or a lease option and put them in. So by building relationships with these professionals, it's very, very important. It's great for your business. Number 7. Not having a mentor. Now, whether it was to be me or whether it was to be any other of the mentors that are out there, you must have a mentor. You need to have someone that's going to keep you from avoiding all the pitfalls that newbie investors fall into that end up costing them a lot of money. A zero in the wrong place, a decimal in the wrong place, a deal that just isn't a deal, and you went and signed up for it through a real estate agent and you put down $1,000 like they request most of the time, you can get burned and lose a lot of money. You absolutely have to have a mentor. Back when I started, a mentor was about $25,000, and one that I almost went for ended up in prison. Thank God I didn't spend the money. Not that I had it to spend, but thank God I didn't. So you need a mentor to help guide you along the way to get you through your first couple deals. Now, that is what we do at TotalFinancialLiberty.com and also theAffordableMentor.com. Total Financial Liberty is a great real estate video training site and audio training site. It's got forums on it. It's got articles. It's got up-to-date laws. It's got a lot of video training on land trusts, and it's just so much information that I couldn't even get into it now. You should take yourself over to www.totalfinancialliberty.com and sign up for the first month. I think it's $1. And for the first month, believe me, you'll get so much information, more so than you would get in these courses, and it's explained out to you. And then there's a forum that's highly active where you can ask questions, get answers. It's a great, great site. And again, for $1, what do you have to lose? You'd be foolish not to do it for $1. I wish when I started that I had a computer and these type of sites were out there, because I got to tell you, my retirement would have been a long, long time ago, and it would have been a blessing for me to have something like that. So anyway, with that discussed, this is Fred Burke with TotalFinancialLiberty.com and theAffordableMentor.com. Until next time, we'll see you then.